AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. Welcome back. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. It is January 15th, 2019, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show here on Blog Talk. How are you? I am in a good mood, pretty much, even though I look out my window and it's completely overcast. And I'm not a fan of overcast days. I am a bigger fan of rainy days, but I am even bigger fan of sunny days. So we're not going to have that necessarily until later today. The little widget on my computer says it's going to be 62 degrees, and that's pretty chilly to me. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty cold. So anyway, today we are going to talk about planets and the moon. I'm pretty sure I put this down. I don't see the title of this show here, but I'm pretty sure I put it down as the lunar eclipse and full moon, which we have this coming Sunday, which is, 6 days away? It's still a bit away. But, we'll talk about that after we talk about other things here in astrology. So currently we have Mars in Aries at 9 degrees. We have Uranus at 28 Aries. He is now direct. That means that Mars is chasing him. And let me see, there aren't any other planets between Neptune and Uranus, so Mars is pretty much giving information from Neptune to Uranus. And I don't think that the moon just passed, so probably not going to see any other planets going in between the two before they actually talk. So that's pretty amazing. Mars is action and assertiveness, aggression, and drive. It is where we motivate in our charts. And, of course, Mars was in Pisces at the end of the year until New Year's Eve. And so Mars in Pisces was wrapping up the old story around assertiveness and taking action for the last 2 years. But in Pisces, it was watery. It was kind of sloggy. I don't know if you felt that. You felt hard to motivate. I will tell you this, Christmas was really cozy and wonderful last year. I enjoyed decorating, which is a very Piscean thing to do, having things look beautiful and desirable. And then now we have Mars in Aries. So he's in his own sign, and he's being assertive. I was just on a phone call with a client. We were talking about an article I had seen in an online website, and it was about Gillette making, here it is, the Me Too movement. It's under the hashtag Me Too movement. Gillette ad on, quote, toxic masculinity, men's rights activists. So there's, pushback from men over this ad basically saying that, is this the best we can do, that we need to do better for women? And so now men are getting all upset that they posted this and they're not going to buy Gillette anymore. And, it's like a whole thing. Well, Mars is in Aries. Mars is, again, it's driving the male story. So what are we doing in society that is aggressive and assertive and more masculine? It can also motivate us in our jobs. It can motivate us to create something, to take action building something. Definitely the energy of carpenters and construction is a very male thing, especially hitting a hammer. Having a physical action taken. Sports are under the energy of fire signs, and Aries. Aries can be sports driven, but so can Sagittarius. So I don't want to just put sports under Aries. It is also Sagittarius. Of course, Sagittarius loves taking physical action with the legs. And today, Venus and Mars are in trine. So men and women are both feeling very physical. It could be a good day to get into bed, if you know what I mean. And then Jupiter is at 14 Sagittarius. So Mars is really triggering that Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius. And so we may want to get out and be more active, get outdoors, and move somewhere, take action through movement, is what I'm trying to say. Uranus at 28 is, again, wrapping up the old story around male energy. So absolutely, the 12th of February, Uranus joins with Mars, or vice versa. Mars joins with Uranus at the last degrees of Aries. So I look to that being a very excitable time. It is a time where we're probably going to have a blow up in our charts somewhere. We're going to have a fight with someone. It is aggressive male energy, so I'm guessing that we're probably also going to have an acting out tantrum in the news again, another shooting probably, fighting, potential for war, or a war of words, or war of ideas. And definitely men are wanting to say, hey, I'm not going to be pushed around. This is my power. I'm in my power. And that's what Uranus in Aries is about. It's about male power. Mars will trigger and activate that energy as a final, I'm not going to take it, here, take that. And I do see it as, and the reason I say that is because Mars wants to act out, it wants to act upon, and Uranus is the unexpected. It can be explosions, it can be unexpected explosions, it can be electrical energy. I mean, definitely computers, the internet, electrical grids, storms, all of these are under Aquarian energy. So it's, on top of the fact that historically I think of February as an Aquarian month because Sun goes into Aquarius in at the end of January. So like I think the 19th, I'll look it up. I think it's the 19th this year because it changes. For those of you who don't know or are new to astrology, the cusp of the Sun going into a new sign can change month to month and even for a specific sign year to year. So the Sun enters Aquarius at 4 a.m. Eastern, Sunday the 20th, which is the same day its ruling planet Uranus is, oh no, I take it back, that's not it. It's opposing, the Sun opposes the Moon at 0 degrees of Leo. We'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, it's a strong month, February I'm talking about again, of the unexpected and rocking and rolling and clarity as well. I want to say Aquarius energy is about clarity, clear-sightedness, and understanding. So, we will see that coming in also, but it can bring aggression when you add Mars to the mix. So I'm just giving you a heads up. It's going to be probably an aggressive week, that Valentine's Day. I keep thinking of the Valentine's Day massacre back when I think it was Dillinger killed a bunch of people on Valentine's Day back in the 20s or the late teens. In the 1900s, way back in that millennium era, what is it? I don't even know what you would call that. 100 years? Decade, not decade. Centennial? I don't know how you would refer to that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So Moon is in Taurus today, and that's in conjunct to Venus and Jupiter. And Moon in Taurus means we want our homes to look nice. We just got out of the Aries energy, and now we are looking to be calm, peaceful, feminine in energy, beauty. We want money. We are focused on money. Of course, Mars is the drive, and Taurus is Mars / in Aries is the drive, and then Taurus is the receptivity and the growth and patience for waiting for things to grow. So for the next couple days, it's about earth energy, plants, money, love. And this is a good time to start thinking about Valentine's Day. That's actually one of my favorite holidays because it's about love, and I love love. So anyway, next couple days, money, growth, love, and couples. And inconjunctive Venus can be a bit difficult. It means that we just want to take our time. We want to be in that wonderful receptive energy. But Venus now, which rules Taurus, is not only in Sagittarius, but coming up on a conjunction to Jupiter. And that means that she wants to just do her own thing. She's not all about that lovey-dovey nature. She's about going and taking action. And she's also in trine to Mars, so that's even infusing her with more desire to get going, be done with it, let's get on with it. Very sporty energy. This is sporty spice time. And Jupiter, of course, again, wants to move forward. Good time for thinking about putting your house up for sale. We've got that energy. Of course, property would be Taurus, Moon in Taurus, and then trine with Mars in Sagittarius, Venus, property and goods. And then Jupiter is wanting to move. So there may be a potential to sell your house. We've got Saturn at 13 Capricorn, Mercury at 16 Capricorn, Pluto at 21 Capricorn, Sun at 25 Capricorn, and the South Node at 26 Capricorn. So needless to say, there is a lot of Capricorn energy today. But the good news, the moon is in trine, in positive aspect to all the Capricorn today. So it is a day of material goods. It is a day of practical, tangible effects, making things happen. We've got Mercury in Capricorn, and Mercury wants to create contracts. So today could be a good day to sign contracts because there's a lot of making it happen through that agreement. And it is a major life change energy. Mercury thinking about some kind of structural change. And Mercury is taking energy from Saturn at 13 to Pluto at 21. And remember, next year, or not next year, early next year, we have Saturn right there on Pluto. So it's going to be a year of getting closer and closer to Pluto energy for Saturn. And that means making things happen, but manifesting change. Pluto is all about major change. So Saturn is saying, hey, you feel a change coming on? Let's make it happen. That's this year. It's about finding the physical way that that can happen and making it happen. Now, how are we going to focus that energy? We're going to focus it with Neptune. Neptune is the vision. Neptune is in sextile to Saturn and Mercury today. And so sextile is really my favorite aspect in the sky. It is about cooperation. And if you have your dream, which is Neptune, then you couple it with the manifester, and guess what you get? You get manifested dreams. It's awesome. So we have to create the structure. We systematically find out what we need, Saturn. We create that system. We commit to it and talk about it, express how to go about doing it, which is Mercury. We dig deep into the psychology, which is Pluto. And then we feel satisfied, which is the Sun at late degrees Capricorn. It is about the culmination of that satisfaction. Sorry, Mick Jagger, but you can get satisfaction, and usually it's when you manifest what you've been wanting to do. And that's where we're at right now. So there isn't a great amount of energy going on. Well, there is always a great amount of energy astrologically, but everything in the sky right now, major planets, are not in the totality of the sky. They're huddled over there between Taurus and Sagittarius, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses, although it's more like 5 houses. It's just really Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Capricorn, and Sagittarius. And then the North Node is in Cancer. So the North Node is how we express out towards the future what we don't necessarily feel comfortable with, but where we need to learn about things. So South Node in Capricorn is telling us to go back to tradition. We're familiar with structures and hierarchy and patriarchy and someone telling us what to do, but we really want to just nurture ourselves and move towards that North Node, and that's about creating a wonderful, nurturing environment. And that isn't necessarily where we're able to act today, but we can gain fortune through being around the home and nurturing people today. So anyway, yeah, when planets cluster in one part of the sky, that's called a bowl, B-O-W-L, and it like holds the energy, and it's in that one section. So it's really concentrating our attention on the last degrees for the most part. With the exception of Aries, it's the last degrees of the zodiac. And that's the culmination of energy around connection to other people in other cultures, other ideas, and embracing the collective ideas, the collective power to create and manifest. And now let's go over to our full moon in Leo, the lunar eclipse, which is coming up on Sunday. And I'm just going to put that into the program here. So we're going to do it the 20th, so January 20th at 4 o'clock a.m. Well, the sun goes in at 4 a.m. and there's a full eclipse just after that. So it doesn't, my little book doesn't tell me the time of the eclipse, but I would assume since it's at 0 degrees, it's pretty much going to be 4 a.m. So we'll just do that real quick. And, oh, hang on. Eclipse. It wants me to put in the last name of the person in the chart. Like, why do you need that? So we'll just put in eclipse. Excuse me. So what we have is sun. Oh, no, this is not even doing it. 20th, 4 a.m. That can't be right. It must be 4 p.m. Hang on a second. Sorry, I didn't have this prepped beforehand, but I had a reading right up until the last minute. So, oh, okay, I see what's going on. So, excuse me, the moon enters Leo at 10:54 p.m., and that's when the eclipse is. So that's my bad. So 10:54 p.m. makes a difference. Okay, that's better. So we've got, and of course this is showing that I need to add a couple minutes to, so I'll just make it 55. There we go. It didn't want to go in. It was at 29 and like 59 minutes. So I just visually need it to be right up there in the actual sign. Okay, so 10:55 on January 20th, solar eclipse. I honestly don't know where it's going to transit. I think I can look it up because not all of the eclipses are going to be seen from America, which means that they're going to affect different parts of the world. And when an eclipse transits whichever part of the world, that's the part that actually feels a concentrated energy of it. And so I'm going to just look up and see. It may not, I don't even see it addressing that here. Oh, wait a minute. There's another page I can look at. So, okay, so this one, it says it's visible from Europe, Asia, North and South America. So, because we're going to be asleep and it's all on the other side of the world, and it's a lunar eclipse, which means the moon is eclipsed, and that means that we've got the Earth between the sun and the moon. Wait a minute. At 10:55 p.m., that means we should see the eclipse, but I guess it won't be visible where we're at here in America. Maybe a different part of the declination on the face of the Earth is what they're saying. So anyway, Leo's children, and sun is in Aquarius, and Aquarius, of course, is humanitarianism. So it's an awakening of awareness around children and humanitarianism and enlightenment, quite honestly. Sun in Aquarius is about understanding and knowledge. So it's a new energy for the sun. Because it's such an early degree eclipse, it is about shifting energy from an old energy, of course, Cancer, Capricorn. And I think this is a pretty significant eclipse because this energy is the energy that Saturn will be moving into next year. And I actually do have, if you give me another second, research. It's so fun. Next year, I've got the ephemeris for next year. Saturn moves into Aquarius. I'll tell you the date. On the 23rd of March. So that degree will be ownership of whatever is going on with what's going on in the sky with this particular eclipse. So we're seeing it come to the fore with this eclipse. So Sunday, pay attention to the news stories, pay attention to your life, because Saturn will be saying this is your path for the next duration of time, 8 years, because, 2.5 for Saturn, but 28 for the cycle. So Saturn takes 28 years to go through all of the signs of the zodiac. And so when a planet lights up an area of the sky or has an event in a certain area of the sky, as other planets transit that degree, it will add to the story. And Saturn is a planet of ownership and responsibility. So whatever's going on, which of course Moon is nurturing, it's mothers, it's in Leo, it's creativity, children, leadership, and it's opposite the Sun, which Sun rules Leo. So it's in an opposite sign. It's about detachment, and the detachment is also actualization of issues. And so we have this opposition from a standpoint, meaning there's an embracing of children and romance and leadership. There's a nurturing of those things with the Moon, and there's an initiating energy of nurturing those. Opposite the ego and the power structure, which can be Uranian. It's about power, and it's also masculine v feminine in some sense, because we have the Moon opposite the Sun, so it's men and women, mom and dad. But we have this awakening to a humanitarian energy, or of a disconnectedness from the emotionalism, and that's where the opposition comes in, that the Moon is very engaged emotionally, and the Sun in Aquarius is about the one person within the collective, but not necessarily engagement in the collective. It's an understanding of how things can be better from a larger scale, but there is a detachment of the ego. And I find it really interesting because Sun is about ego, but Aquarius is about lack of ego. So that's what's coming in. It's going to be an awakening of, we need to do something as a collective toward changing some situation around leadership in families, children, and women in the home. So that very strongly screams Trump to me, because of course we've got the whole immigration issue with the mothers and the children being torn apart from each other. And this is an awakening time. And not only that, Saturn will be coming around to this degree next year, and it will be in spring of next year, January. Even though it's not Aries time of year, we have two strong planets in Aries, which is the beginning of the astrological year and as well as the seasonal year. So spring starts with Aries and astrology starts with Aries. So next year, when we actually have all this energy shifting with Saturn, will be at the end degrees of Sun in Aries going into Taurus, and we're going to have so it's about an ending of an old energy and the beginning of a new awakening and an understanding of connectedness to women and children. And so we're going to see what happens. It's a very strong energy for that particular eclipse, but also, like I said, for Aquarian times in February. I'm going to take an early break so that we can take more callers today, because it seems kind of, I'm not seeing the usual upheaval in the chart. So, of course, we do have Uranus squaring Mercury and the South Node in the sky right now. And Uranus, of course, moving closer to exiting the sign. But the square, that Uranus square to Pluto energy from 2015 is finally coming to an end. And it also means that we are collectively coming to the end of a story around structure and male energy. And I'm not reading into that because that's what I'd like. That's really just what it symbolically stands for. The structure is Capricorn, and Aries is new energy and male energy. And so anyway, I'm going to take a quick break here, like I said, and we'll come back and take some calls. So if you want to get a reading, the number is 347-994-3365. And I'm going to play this wonderful song from my friend Tracy Coriel. And we'll listen to that, and I'll come right back.
Where your dreams set you free.
was so sweet. That was a song by my friend Tracy Coriel, and she's an amazing I can't even speak. Amazing singer-songwriter here in Orlando. And if you are interested, you can go to her website. I believe it is Tracy. You probably can't even hear me. That would help, wouldn't it? If I had the microphone in my face. Go to tracyland.com. I believe that's her website. TRACEYLAND. Anyway, that was Cinderella. So my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And if you would like a reading from me, a private reading, you can get me at angeliczodiac.com. So just check that out. I've got blogs over there. I've got information. Every time I get a chance, I write a blog on some astrological aspect or planet or event. So you can see that over at angeliczodiac.com. And let's see who we have here. We've got 336. Hi, 336. How are you?
I'm good, Shelley. This is Karen. How are you?
Hi, Karen. I should memorize that by now, but I don't know why I haven't. Probably because you're not the only one 336. Did you know that? I have 2 or 3 336s.
I'm not surprised. I talk about you a lot.
Very cool. Yeah, that's so neat that you may know the other people. Anyway, what's going on with you this new year?
Change.
Yep.
Lots of change. I think
awesome.
Mom's getting ready to check out. Who knows what kind of changes that's going to bring. I'm 65 almost in a week. So,
Happy birthday.
Lots of change.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
change.
What specifically do you want to look at? Change?
Change. I hope it's positive change, but I don't know.
It's going to be.
I hope.
Yeah, it is. So you have a Scorpio rising like me, and interestingly, I just had a client right before the show who also had a Scorpio rising. So we're all dealing with a lot of the similar themes coming up with all this energy. Yeah. So let's see. The Venus is exiting your first house and going into your second, which can be good for money. The change for you is Uranus in your house of work and health. And what I was talking about before the show, or before the break, Mars joining up with Uranus, that's about to affect you as well because Mars is going into your house of work. It's exiting your house of creativity and romance. Just curious, how has that affected you, the Mars in the 5th house for you?
I haven't even thought about it.
No?
I play around with astrology, but I don't play around with it in my own life very, very well.
Really? Aw. Well,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm that way probably with like tarot or angel cards. I do it for myself, but I don't really do it for other people. Astrology, I do it for myself too, and it takes an effort to not read the worst into my chart and try and find the good. It is hard, but I actually can do it. I know a lot of people can't read themselves, but I can read myself pretty good, and I do really well reading my family, and I'm always like, oh, watch out for today. It's going to be some issues with emotions or whatever I tell people. Some listen, some just go, that's nice, Shelley, whatever. But the Uranus energy and the Mars transited your Leo house, so it was more about connecting to people one-on-one. May have triggered more friendship situations where you went out and had more time with friends, went out to dinner or whatever. So that's been, I would think probably pretty good because it's been going through Pisces at the end of the year and then Aries at the beginning, and it makes you want to be around people more. Which,
actually, it's been exactly the opposite. Actually, it's
really?
been the opposite. I have.
Interesting.
I don't want to be around people much. In
so
fact, the work group wanted to do, a lunch for birthdays. Another guy that works with us has a birthday at the end of the month, and I don't want to do it.
Well, let me ask you this: were you more? I mean, of course, everyone's around others in the holidays. Was there a demarcation at the beginning of the year about like, okay, now I just want to be my own person, get away from me? Because Mars went into Aries, I could understand that. But when Mars was in Pisces, it's much more difficult to break away from other people. but and that would be New Year's
No,
Eve. It's kind of like
it
no, it's
happened.
been all along.
It happened before that. I didn't.
Oh,
I stayed
interesting.
home. I had very
Mm-hmm.
long weekends,
Uh-huh.
Thanksgiving and New Year's, and I saw no one. Didn't do anything.
Wow.
Didn't walk out my door except to get the mail.
Oh, the astrology to meet your story. Maybe I am a little, I don't know. But yeah, the moon, New Year's Eve, the moon was at 12 Scorpio, which was your first house, and it's been in, actually since New Year's has been in your I, me, my section, the whole, interestingly, because the moon was at 12 degrees, which is your rising sign, and it's been there until now. This is amazing. The moon is at 11 Taurus, which is exactly opposite where it was on New Year's Eve, right now. So you're calling me exactly in an opposite moon from New Year's Eve, and now it's all from then until now been in the house of me, myself, and I, or the half of the chart. So that kind of makes sense to me. But well, interesting. So traditionally, I will say this: traditionally, Mars through your house of romance, creativity, and children, which is the fifth house, will make you want to be more one-on-one with people and connect with them. So if you don't, that's perfectly fine. There are no rules, and there may be other influences. You have Neptune at late degrees, home and family, which is probably you say your mom's transitioning soon?
It's clear that she's getting
Yeah.
closer and closer.
Yeah.
Who knows when that will happen? Yeah. But
well,
sleeping
it's
a
a
lot,
long.
memory going.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking at the year, and the cusp where Neptune leaves your house of home and family, which would be a transition point for you with that situation, would be March of this year, where, let me see, the very last 2 days is when Neptune gets into or right on the cusp of home and family and the next house. So that's a transformational time. Not saying your mom will pass at that time per se, because of course
Right.
Neptune also retrogrades, which may mean she kind of has some issues, and then it could pull back a little bit. But
Right.
usually wherever Neptune, I mean, and it's a long process. You may know this, Neptune takes a year to go like 2 degrees, and
Right.
so Neptune's been there for 15 years, a lot. So it's taken a long time to get to this place in your chart. So yeah, it's going to be probably a longer process, because Neptune in a water house is going to do that. Uranus in your house of home or house of work and health is also about to transform. So whatever issues you've been dealing with, maybe, I don't want to say specifically neurological, because that could also be something because what happens is Uranus, it rules the nervous system, so it stimulates us. In Aries, it's more blood. So when you combine things like the nervous system, or even up into the brain and then blood, you've got potential health issues around that. So I'm just going to give that to you. Okay, I'm not saying you're going to get anything from that, but that's what it rules in the health house. And then it's also about a greater awareness over the independent side of you around work, and then moving into Taurus. So that will be embracing things that come more and taking your time with them. So even though it's like you get clarity and understanding, which can help trigger you to do things quicker around work. Now, do you work outside the home? I think you said you did.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And my job has changed in the last 6 months, and I have more responsibility now. So
you have more or no?
More.
I didn't hear what
I have more. I have more.
Okay.
More.
Okay. And yeah, that's kind of what all the Capricorn's doing for everyone, is really trying to show us where we're coming into our own authority. And it's for you, the fact that you communicate so well is probably contributing to that. because all of that Capricorn energy falls in your third house of communications. So, of course, being able to put thoughts into words and organize really well, they're like, oh, she's really good at doing this and that, and so they're going to give you more of that. But do you have any specific questions?
No.
No?
I mean, I could
okay.
talk to you. I could talk to you for a very long time, but
yeah.
This is your show, so anyway.
Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to find an area because again, it's kind of difficult. Like right now, the biggest thing that sticks out is still Aries and Capricorn, and of course Neptune is at the end degree, so your home and family. So you're finishing up the dream, so to speak, the old idealized situation around family. The emotional, sentimental side is on its way out only because it's the end of that house. So you're wrapping up the old story with nurturing and love, and that relates directly to mom, that mom was the symbol of your home and family house. And then you also have Vesta just over the cusp coming in, and Vesta is the keeper of the documents. So it's about getting things organized, and there may be another female who can irritate you in the family who may seem like, I know what I'm doing and what are you doing, and I'm going to get this done, and that's Vesta. So it just went in. So let me look at my ephemeris and see how long she's going to spend there, and I'll give you a little.
Male and female. Both male and female that irritate you.
You got both.
Yeah.
Okay, let me grab my glasses here. I've been spending a lot of time. I've been talking astrology today for a couple hours. I'm kind of taking my time right now, so to speak. Let's see. Vesta leaves on February 2nd. She goes into Pisces. But Pisces is still that house until 17 degrees. So hang on a second. I'll tell you when she leaves the house of home and family. Sorry, didn't take enough of a breath there. So she's gone March 10th. So you'll probably have to deal with her really strongly right around the beginning of March because Vesta will be on Neptune. And so that's going to be like, finger pointing. Lots of finger pointing.
I'm going to private message you some of my thoughts around that particular time, just so you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't want to go into a whole discussion you're not comfortable with per se, right. So that's fine.
No,
Jupiter.
That's fine.
Jupiter. Yeah, no, that's good. Jupiter in your second house of money with Venus about to join it. Very fortunate for money. You can earn money from foreign sources or people of foreign descent. But it is expansion of money and it's optimism. So that's a really positive thing if you're looking for something positive and joyful. Again, the Venus-Mars trine right now. Venus is money, Mars is taking action, and Mars is about to go into your house of work. So I do see a lot of work coming your way. You said you're already getting increased responsibilities at work. So I would say the next month. Let me see. I just want to see how long Mars stays in Aries. Mars goes into Taurus on the 15th of February and then is there in your house of work until the 5th of March. So you're going to be really busy, super busy. And there's probably a chance that you're going to want, Uranus in the house of work, I always tell everyone, that's entrepreneurial. So it's a detachment from the traditional system and structure of the workplace. So that could also mean that they're willing to pay you to be at home and do your stuff out of the house. It could, any kind of alternative home/work situation would work for you. So, but it's going to get stronger and stronger. Uranus is wrapping up its story. It's trying to say, hey, did you get the message? This is what you need to focus on. It's about your personal power and going in the direction you need to go and being the person you need within the greater good. And so that's the story for the next month and a half, is really being the person you want to be within the collective. Okay?
Yeah, thanks. I'm really feeling that too. So.
Yeah, you get that message.
I don't know where it's taking me, but yes, I'm definitely feeling that's where my thought processes are going. Direction they're taking.
Wow. Well, yeah, really, whenever Uranus is in a specific spot or triggering, like definitely, I see it all the time. Is don't tell me what to do. Don't I'm an independent person. I'm autonomous. I can do this. Just let me be. Let me do my thing. And because it's squaring to Capricorn, you have all this Capricorn energy, which tells me that you're attracting people in who think they can tell you how to do your work, and you're going, back off. I've got this. And you gave me the position, you gave me the responsibility, now let me do it. And so you're probably going to see that. And because of all the stuff that's coming in with Mars joining Uranus, of course, Mars is not into your house of work yet, but when Mars goes into your house of work, a male energy trying to, mansplain it to you is coming. And February 12th is when they join, and that's probably the fireworks are going to start. So just so you know, that's kind of your timeline.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
it's good talking to you, and Happy New Year. Yeah, definitely direct message me. Let me know, and I'll respond to you there. Okay?
Yeah, no hurry. I'll just, yeah. But
okay.
Thank you so much, Shelley. You rock.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Take care. Oh, you're sweet. Bye-bye.
Okay. You
Okay, let's take 817. Hi, 817. How are you, and who is this?
Happy New Year, Shelley. This is Nancy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Nancy from Arkansas? Is that where you are?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what can I do for you today?
Well, aside from all the first house, Pluto, Saturn, all that stuff, I know that's going to take for a long time. It's been sitting there. Saturn's exactly rising. But I was thinking, financially, when is that shifting at all? I've shifted some jobs. And I'm doing some side, entrepreneurial type of jobs. And just kind of a mishmash. Obviously, a total shift of what I used to do.
Right.
I think I can blame Pluto and Saturn for that. But just wondering, it could be a mindset too. It might not. It's not necessarily freak out. It's just, what's going to happen?
Okay. Well, when's it going to happen? So you're saying work. Well, your work house is not being affected directly, except your natal Mars is in your work house in Cancer, and that means that, of course, it squares Mars today. So right now, Mars is saying what it thinks, and it's in Aries, so it's very brash in its communication, and it's assertive. So that can actually help you if you're in a communication position or you're in a sales position. Lots of sales for that.
Well, I'm looking for when income will, the flow of income or financial abundance per se.
Well, Mercury going into your house of money in Aquarius is going to give you multiple options, but honestly, I think Mercury going into Pisces, see, this is difficult. So there are 9 degrees of Aquarius on the cusp of your house of money. And that means that it comes from multiple sources. The ruler of your house of money is Aquarius, and that's multiple sources. The ruler, Uranus, is at the end degrees of the sign. So it's really wrapping up a story around independence with money on some level. Okay? And it's starting a new story, but you've got Pisces also in your house of money, and Mercury, which is you're thinking about money. It's very dreamy. So having Mercury and Pisces in the house of money means it's about the idea of money, and it's not necessarily as comfortable with the physical tangibles. When Mercury gets into that house, it's going to be better, and there are more opportunities coming. You're going to be on people's radar. You're going to be, they're going to think of you and contact you because Mercury is also communication. So I'm looking for when that is. Is this the 18th of? Well, I'm a couple months ahead of myself. Hang on a second, real quick here. So we're looking for 21 degrees of Aquarius. Okay, so that's February 6th. So definitely, I know I've been repeating it, but for everybody, Mars joining Uranus is very big for shift and change. It's an event, okay? An event will happen. So the 12th of February, that's when it happens, and it falls right on your Venus. Venus rules money in Aries, and so that's like an expression out of frustration and anger and shift and change. So there is like this has got to stop. This has got to change. And I would say probably immediately after that is when you're going to really start to move forward and see some shifts. But I wouldn't honestly be surprised if you felt it even before then when Mercury goes into your house of money. I mean, not that aggression as much as things coming your way and opportunities. Okay. That is February 6th. So, yeah, thoughts around money, Mercury, and then let me see, the sun also gets into Aquarius, and let me see when the sun gets there. On the 11th of February, the sun will be in your house of money. So that's going to be really good. So initially, Mercury in your house of money is going to be, I'm thinking about this. I could do this, I could do that. And then you're going to have opportunities in multiple areas because that's what Aquarius is. It's like, I can do this, but I can also do that. And then sun comes in and it shines a light on those things that you can do. And I think you'll also be like in the spotlight, very much a spotlight moment. So I think if you're looking for someone to give you work or a way to make money, that's when it's going to really be highlighted for the month of February.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, that's not that far away. It's like 2.5 weeks.
For my multiple streams of income my whole life. It's Aquarius on my second.
Is that what you normally do?
Well, yeah. I always work for a living, but I always have all these different dabble in other things to bring in money. Yep. So, anyway, well, awesome.
You've also got I'm just going to tell you, you've got a trine between your natal Neptune at your midheaven and your Neptune in the house of money. It's just a little past. It's only 4 degrees past, but it's still influencing you. So you've got some energy around intuition and psychic ability, and you have a natal trine between Mercury and Neptune in water. So you're very intuitive. Have you considered, and Mercury in Pisces, like you could make a living as a psychic. Have you considered that?
I have
you
actually, yeah.
Got any means, like cards or whatever? Yeah, if you have a modality.
I dabble with cards. I dabble with astrology. I dabble with just knowing, but I'm
if you want money, stop dabbling. don't dabble. Get it going because that's there. Let me see your Saturn.
Corporate America. Yeah, so I'm working that way.
And I have to tell you this because it's so pronounced in your chart. You have a 28-degree Saturn in Capricorn, which of course is directly square Uranus today and directly square your natal Venus, which is money. So part of the issue is Uranus on your Venus in Aries at late degrees squaring your Saturn is saying you have to pay attention to where you need to be independent. And Pluto over that degree coming up with the January of next year, Saturn joins Pluto, late degrees right on your natal Saturn. It's wrapping up the story around dad, around structure, around tradition. It doesn't have to be that vision of your life. It could be retirement potentially, but it is about shifting your ideology and dogma around the structure of earning a living and how that would look. Because Uranus is, even though it's slower, Pluto is a slower moving planet than Uranus, so Pluto has time to do the work. Uranus is kind of the king of the heavens right now because he rules Aquarius, which is where Pluto and Saturn are going. So he's the one in charge. He's calling the shots right now. He's running out ahead of the planet. He's going into, he was in Aries, and then now he's in Taurus. He's out the beginning of the zodiac again while they're still wrapping up the old story and saying, you guys are too slow. You're in the old energy. You got to come along. Listen to me, listen to where I'm going. So even though he is a faster moving planet, he's very much in charge of the direction for society right now because he rules humanity. He's a humanitarian, and it's about the collective and the collective good and the collective direction. And that falls directly on your Venus. And again, Venus is money and love. So the story isn't as simple for you in your chart. I'm looking here going, you've got Chiron in the house of money. You've got South Node in the house of money. You've got Mercury in the house of money. In Pisces. Pisces is the collective awareness of understanding of faith and love and religion and spirituality. It's collective good around ultimate universal love. And it's hard for you to motivate, I think, on some level for your personal finances, but it's easier for you to motivate when it comes to joint finances because you have Moon in Virgo, North Node in Virgo, and Pluto in Virgo there. And your North Node and Pluto are at exactly the same degree. And your Moon is only 1 degree up on those. And then you also have Uranus in Leo, which means you have to be creative. You want to be creative, but you're also a leader, and you're like very alternative in how you think. And you can bring in money better when it's about someone else. And if you're married, it's like, it's our joint finances. I can do this. If it's about me, oh, I don't need money. But if it's about us, heck yeah, get it going, do it. So maybe that's the way to channel your energy and focus your energy a little bit, is to bring in service to others. And yeah, that's your Virgo. But I'm telling you, Mars is on your Sun today, and it's about me, 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 me. So it is. It's about me. Okay. So, and then you have Venus, Jupiter in your 11th house of peer groups in work, your soul group. And so that can be a drive towards meeting people of other backgrounds, the cultures, like I said, foreign people, or even travel. But Mars wants you to be about you for right now. And coming up in February, it's going to be it'll be like the culmination of the story around communications and taking the ownership of things. And it is about you. You've got all the Capricorns in your first house, and then Mars is on your Sun. It's about you. So you got to get a little.
Star one. Here I am.
Yeah, you've got to pay some attention to yourself, and opposite all of that joint financial stuff. So, I mean, I know it's difficult to do it just for you, but if you can find, like your drive for yourself, that's what's going to get you going where you need to go. And then it's going to come, like Uranus, like I said, goes into Taurus, which answers to Venus in March. So, I mean, you've got a couple different triggers for money in your chart. You just have to wait a little bit till February, like I said, the 7th, the 12th, and just after, between the 12th and also March 7th. So like between the mid-February and the first week of March, it's going to really ramp up more and more. Okay?
Awesome. Great. Look forward to it. Thanks, Deb.
Yeah. You're welcome. Take care.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Okay. Let's see. 202. Hi, 202. How can I help you? Hello? 202, are you there?
Hey, Shelley.
Hi.
How are you?
This is Kay. Good. How are you? Is it
yes,
Kay?
Yes, it's Kay. Yeah.
Okay, Kay.
Oh.
Yay. So what can I do for you today?
Time.
You're squeaking in under the wire here.
Okay. I'd like you to look at my chart.
Sure.
I did resign from my job. My last day is February 15th. So
wow.
I'd like you to see, what I got going on after that time, February 15th on, particularly in the career front.
Well, it's going to just ramp up more and more. Yeah, because like I was telling the last caller, she had the Uranus on her Venus. You do too. You have Uranus at 28 Aries. So right now Uranus is on your Venus at the last degree of home and family. Mars will be there. Like I said, it's like a combustion. Boom. It'll like this. And you're off to the races because right afterwards Mars goes into your house of creativity. And then you'll be doing that. Today, though, Moon is exactly on your Chiron. And that's your wounding. That's in its finances. So there's money, there's femininity. It's, your power to be creative, being a woman, money coming from that. That's all being triggered today with the Moon right there on your Chiron. So I just want you to, like, whatever you're feeling or thinking about that's what's going on there. But then Mars hitting your Uranus and then immediately going into House of Creativity is only going to be better and better, because now you're done with that old story about dad or your place in the family. The more male drive towards, like, how do I put it? More sense of responsibility for family is on its way out. And I don't know if you necessarily took responsibility, but you were definitely like, the figure that, I mean, you have Venus at the last degrees of the home and family, so it's kind of like you've been stuck with the family, so to speak. Like, the energy, the drive was all, I mean, you have Aries ruling your house of family, so it's always been about the family, but as Mars moves over Uranus on your Venus and moves immediately into the 5th house, it's about you are having a time to shine now. You're taking action, you're being creative, the money's going to come. It's about shining, and Uranus will be in positive aspect by sign to Saturn and all the Capricorn planets, because now it'll be in an earth sign, and it'll be awakening the awareness of the money and how to make that money grow in your life through creative means. Jupiter today is at 14 Sag. Your rising sign is 15 Sag, and then it goes closer to your Neptune. So over the next year, it's really going back and forth over those first degrees between Neptune and your rising sign. So you're really learning how to be kind of in your own dreams and not listening to other people. Interestingly, Uranus was the last planet in your chart that Venus and Jupiter were on before it hits your Neptune in your 1st house. So it is about becoming independent. Lots of independence energy in your chart right now.
I love that, and I love that. So the universe is supporting me in that. That's kind of the question. Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, over the course of the next year. So, like, I don't know. I'm trying to keep all my readings straight today. One of the ladies I talked to earlier, she had Capricorn in the house of money, and she was like, oh, yeah, they're making me, they're giving me all this responsibility. That's coming for you. You're going to have responsibility for the money because Saturn will be moving into your 2nd house of money. Like all the Capricorn, it transits between your 1st and your 2nd, and you just had the sun there. The sun's there as of 3 days ago, and then the next one will be Mercury, and Mercury will get there in about a week, and then Saturn will get there over the course of, end of this year, and then Pluto will also get there. This actually probably quicker than I even expected. Hang on a second. Let me try and find that. Yeah, because Pluto goes in to that house really soon, 22 and 31 minutes. So that is overnight between the 28th and 29th of January.
Whoa.
So
of this month?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, by the 29th of January, Pluto moves into your house of money, major life change around responsibility.
Yes, what does that mean?
That quickly.
Well, life change around responsibility.
Yeah, Pluto is psychology. It's personal value to others. And it's in Capricorn, which is structure and authority. So you're coming into an authority, and there's a major change because not only is Pluto about change, but it's moving from the 1st house to the 2nd. So in the sky, like when you were born, that where this energy is, birth chart is what is triggered. So Pluto is moving in your natal chart from the area of the sky that rules you into the area that rules how you see your value and how you're getting money from the system. What are you valued for? And it's about value. And it'll be there for over a decade, but literally within 2 weeks it'll go in to your house of money. And I'm not sure if it actually gets back, because it does retrograde, but let's see if it actually gets back out of that house of money. 2231. It does very briefly in June. Well, I say very briefly. I should look and see. On the 15th of June, it actually will be, no, actually, it's the 18th of June. It moves back into the 1st house until, okay, so you're in the transition year. It goes back in December. December 3rd. So half the year you'll have it in your 2nd house of money, and the other half you'll have it back in the 1st. And what that tells me is after it goes back in June 15th, it's again about you're back where you are today, more or less, and that you're wanting to wrap up the old story about identity and am I valuable enough and do people value me? So make as many inroads into credibility and earning what you truly want while Pluto's going direct, because when it goes retrograde, you'll be going back over those things and maybe having more doubts. And it is psychology, so it's the psychology of worth, Okay? That's what your focus is. Like, am I worth it? Am I credible enough? Why don't people believe me, believe in me? All the doubts. And that's what Capricorn does. Pluto in Capricorn is about fear. So when Pluto's retrograde, you can have more fear. You go back over where you already saw that you were valuable. You already got those benefits. And then you're like, oh, I don't know. And then you start being your own worst enemy and doubting. So get as much credibility and forward motion as you can for the first 6 months, because the second 6 months you'll be going back over what you've done and, making sure that stuff is the way it should. And it's a pretty significant year for you, because Pluto is the slowest, in our current astrological system, it is the slowest moving planet in the zodiac. It is a generational planet, and it also has more time to really dig in and get to the heart of the matter and the psychology. It digs deep. It rules Scorpio, so it is about psychology. It's about personal value to others. Are people valuing you for what you have to give? And because of where it's at, it is your year to make some shifts, but then, am I really worth it? Oh my gosh, let me see. And then doubt or reevaluate. And by the end of the year, when it goes back into your second house, you'll have finished off the story around ego and identity, and be much more on board with the process of making money. And that's where you're going to be for a long time, for over a decade. And it's also where you're going to experience, it's also where you're going to experience Saturn joining up with Pluto, which is January of next year. And I would definitely say major significant year for you, because it's right at the beginning of your house of money. And Saturn is ownership. So whatever it is that you think you want to do, the rubber hits the road in January 2020. Okay. This year you can make inroads. I don't want you to think you can't. You absolutely can, because you've got that Uranus moving into your house of creativity, and Mars will be going up there, and then it'll spend a month in your house of creativity, and then it'll spend a month in work, and then it'll go into partnership. But you'll have a good 2 months. Right now you have a month of home and family, and then a month of creativity, and then a month of work. And the work month, which will be like March, is going to be like lots of business and probably some money too, because it's in Taurus. Okay, so when Mars gets to Taurus, that's all about your money. That's March, all of March. Okay?
Got it. Thank you so much. That was so thorough.
You're welcome. I try to be. So anyway, you take care.
Much appreciated.
Keep plugging in. Jupiter's about in your first house. Uranus is about in your fifth. And Pluto is going into your second. You got a lot of cusp changes, so don't worry about it. It's all working to your benefit, okay?
Yay! Glad to hear it.
Yeah. Don't worry. All right, take care. Bye, Kay.
Bye.
All right, that's the end of the show this week. We will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.